when I first saw this design, I thought it's a ratio exercise. I didn't know anything else about it until I read the ratio, which I do by taking an outer circle and reducing it by that ratio there towards the center. And in this design, they have included a feast of 9487 reductions there, and then carried that on here, and then they went to a 90, which is the square of 9487, then back to 9487, and then they put an 876 in there. And 876, yeah, it's a bit of an oddball, because it's actually 90 times 974, and is unlike these other rounded 90, 81, 6561 increments. But alright, didn't know what they meant by it. And then a 90, then another 876, then a 90, then an 81, then a 90. And I'm thinking, well, wait, 8190, that's 729, that's Earth to Venus. And then looking inside, oh, that's Venus to Mercury type proportions. So I thought, well, I'll take down the ratio and measure it against some real solar system charts. But while we're here, this circle is a 6561 down from Vesta, and this circle is a 2824 from Jupiter. So if Jupiter is 1, then that is 0.2824 to it. And the square root of 2824 is 531441. And the cube root of 2824 is 6561. So you go 6561, 430, 2824. These numbers here, this feast of 9487s, is outside of the orbit of Mars. But I'm going to begin with the orbit of Mars. There's a circle on it here. So the first reduction is an 876. I can do that. And that circle wound up being the transfer circle between Mars and the Earth. And I don't think there is another one. I think that's the only one that's available. And the next reduction is a 90. And that has to come over here because you can't go over the orbit of the Earth. Then another 876. Then a 9, 90%. 90. And that makes the Earth a transfer orbit between those two. Next reduction, 81. another 9. But that one there is going to there. And then A1. And that's going to give me a transfer orbit between that circle and the orbit of Mercury. And then another A1. So it sits in the middle of nowhere really. And then 6561. If that is recentered to the star, it will sit nicely. Another 6561. Because they like to finish off their designs with some concentric circles in the center. And they often have a ratio riff just in those that might mean something. But that's their design. There's no transverse circle between those circles around Earth and Venus. It's easy enough to put one in, but I won't, because that's their design and it can just stay the way it is. So just to do an orbit zoom, the orbit of Mars reduces by 6561 to give the orbit of the Earth. It's very close, 6565, not 6561. But because these numerals are the same, that's going to be 99.9 something accurate for the size of the Earth's orbit. And for the Earth, 729 to Venus, and from Venus 53.1441 to Mercury. Tends to come up with a small anomaly just there. Could be Mars eccentricity, but I don't think so. Venus is a circular orbit, and this has definitely got a little dent on one side. And anyway, the transverse circle between Mars and the Earth was 876. Brought to you by the crop circles. And the transverse circle between the Earth and the Venus, which was 729, is the square root of 729, which is 8538. That one there. There. And then two transverse circles from Venus to Mercury. Or is it just one? A1? So that gives me the orbits and the transfer circles between the orbits from Mars to Mercury on pi ratio with the minimum number of indicated ratio circles. I'm out at the orbit of Jupiter. That's it there. That's Mars, Earth, Venus, Mercury. I'm going to take the orbit of Jupiter into 28.24, and you'll see it just comes up a bit small for Mars. The match between Jupiter and Ceres at 0.5314 is so close to that, it's going to be 99.99 something accurate. So I'm just going to reduce that by 53.1441 to get the orbit of Ceres. But I don't know where to put it, so I'll drop an 8.1 as a transfer circle in from the orbit of Jupiter. Place that there. And I can move that to that point, and that's where Ceres is in relation to the rest of the orbits. But Vesta has an 8538 relationship with Ceres. So I'll put that in at 8538. And Vesta sits about there. It just overlaps the orbit of Ceres, but I don't think they're connected. Just in proximity to each other. Now, the 6561 reduction comes up just a little bit too big for Mars, and the difference between that one and the 2824 from Jupiter is 0.9487, but they're just measuring circles, so I'll just take those off. And to get a transfer orbit from Vesta to Mars, we'll try an 8.1. Yeah, which is fine. But that's a transfer circle between Mars and Ceres. Vesta doesn't have another circle touching it there, so it's a subsidiary orbit. And there we have it. Vesta, Ceres, Jupiter. And the 8538 increment from Ceres to Vesta is a 9487 split between 0.9 and 0.81.
So the crop circle design that we've seen had a lot of 9487s. It would take 3 of them to make an 8538. And then the rest of those increments heads towards Mars. But perhaps there is a statement that there will be other objects on those ratios, namely the asteroids, but the asteroids are tilted and elliptical as if they've gone a bit haywire. That's Saturn. I tried numerous transverse circle arrangements until eventually I came to 876. I need 3, and then an 81. To Jupiter. Just to check that math, uh, 0.9 square root 9486 square root 574 square root 9869, but I'm interested in 974, which I'll multiply by 0.9, give me 876. Now if I square that, that's 768, and I'll square that, 5904. But that's not what I'm interested in. I actually want 768 square root back to 876, and I'll take the cube of that because there were 3 reductions. 6736, and then times 0.81, which was the final reduction there. So what gave me 5456. 5426. So that's going to be a 99 something. Anyway, that goes up to there, and that one comes down to there, and that one just comes up a little bit like that. Seems to be the only configuration I can find. There might be another. Anyway, we had an 81 in from Jupiter as the transfer circle to Ceres, and relative to that circle, Ceres will be at 65.61. So that's Ceres there. About there. And Vesta from there was 85.38. And it's located just there with its interesting crossover point. And then we go to 81,
for the transfer circle to Mars. And for our minimum power diagram, we don't need this one, and we don't need Vesta, although it is there of course, to give us our minimum circular circuit diagram from Saturn to Mars. Eight, 7, 6. Eight, 7, 6. Step and repeat. 8, 7, 6 on that 5904 orbit. Another one. 8, 7, 6. Step and repeat. We're done. Apart from the transfer circles, which, to make all of those 8, 7, 6s transfer circles, I do this. Which gives me quite a tight circular arrangement. But other things can be done. I move that to there. Move that to there. I make that one unnecessary and that one unnecessary. Minimum transfer circle diagram. 3 orbits, 5904 system.